Hello everyone and welcome back to Fantasy Kingdom here in Parkitect. We're working on the Himalayan style themed area for the park, as you can see in the title. Basically just finishing things off, so doing the coaster station build, building a few other little buildings, a restaurant and some shops and a flat ride in this episode. So I worked on it, was it last weekend or the weekend before? Might have been a couple of weeks ago now. Just haven't got round to recording the commentary until now, so just got to refresh my memory a bit on what I built in this one. Starting off then with the coaster station, so very simple, just the adventure pack walls, doing sort of overhanging roofs, which I guess always sort of gives a sort of Asian feel, although we're going for a very specific type of theming here, like a sort of Himalayan village, sort of a village somewhere around Mount Everest, I guess. Geographically, I don't know if what I'm building makes any sense, but it's it fits the theme that we're going for. Yeah, so aesthetics over realism, I guess. But yeah, I really do like this building style. I mean, I think it works perfectly with this style of coaster as well. And, you know, the Expedition Everest trains. It is a bit of a rip-off of that coaster. Although I've never really seen anything like that. Not anything exactly like that done in Parkitect before. Although I'm sure someone has probably done a very similar style of build, but I thought it would work perfectly into this park, as we are going for a sort of Disney style park. Well, I say we're going for, we're nearly finished there now, nearly finished with this one. Got one more themed area to put in after this one, and it's coming together really nicely now. You might sort of see when I zoom out a bit how much land we've got left to work with. It's scary how near to finishing we are. There's still a couple of bits that I need to go back and finish off. There's a couple of empty spaces. Probably need to work a bit more on some of the backstage areas, and obviously outside of the park as well. We need to do some sort of hotels and things like that. Parkitect always runs quite well on my PC, so it's, you know, there's not too much concern about the FPS. Only when you zoom out a lot, it slows right down. So yeah, we can keep filling the park up with stuff really as much as we want, which is fine. However, I am having some technical difficulties at the moment. The laptop I'm using, I just think I'm doing too much on it, especially when I play Planet Coaster and do my very heavily detailed building in that. It's been getting so hot. I've got a cooling pad which doesn't really do anything. In fact, I think it's probably blowing dust into the computer, so now I've been turning that off. But yeah, I've set the sort of CPU to only run up to 90% and stuff like that. I've done a full reinstall of Windows because it's just basically really struggling. It doesn't even run Planet Zoo anymore, and the reinstall hasn't helped. Since then, the graphics card has been giving me random pixels all over the screen. I say the graphics card, the Intel sort of integrated graphics is the one with the problem. The GeForce card's still working, so I don't have any problem when I'm playing the games that do work. But it's just, yeah, it's running very slow. Just to do day-to-day activities like rendering, well, video editing, you know, using just for using the internet and stuff, it's really struggling. So at some point I'm either going to have to look into getting it repaired professionally, because I have no idea when it comes to things like that, or look at getting a new computer. Obviously I'd go for a proper PC, a tower. When I bought this I thought I need a laptop, but I really don't, because I've never taken it out of the house. So yeah, it's just one of those things that we're going to have to live with at the moment. But hopefully at some point I've got the money to buy a brand new unit. But you look at the prices, you're spending at least $1,000 to get something with a GTX 2060, is it the sort of second best card? The 3060 sort of sets you back $3,000 or more for a machine with that in it, from what I've been seeing, looking about online. So I don't think that's on the cards anytime soon. But yeah, sorry for going majorly off topic on this one. You know, the computer's working, it's running Parkitect, it's running Planet Coaster, so that's the main thing. We can still do videos for the channel, still managing to edit them and get the commentary done and everything like that. So yeah, fingers crossed it carries on working for the time being anyway, till we're in a better situation where we can get a new computer. So what we're building here is the transfer track shed, which I thought I'll just build out of completely shrubs, I guess is the piece I use here, like sort of mini hedge pieces, which is a nice trick that I did on my Christmas build to make these sort of almost textured like bricks, and just give them a bit of variation on colour. And then I stick on the same overhanging roof again for the transfer track shed. I'm not sure how realistic this would be, or if it would work at all. I'm not very good at doing realism things like transfer tracks, to be honest, so I tried to keep it as simple as possible. Looking at where I've just placed that tree, it will probably be right in the way. But again, I want this sort of thing to be covered up, so if you were on the ride in first person, you know, from a first person perspective, you wouldn't be able to see the transfer track, which is what a lot of highly immersive parks like Disney and Universal do. You can't actually see where the transfer track is on a lot of their coasters. So that's sort of what I've gone for here. You know, you probably wouldn't really notice that bit of track coming out where it is. And yeah, that's pretty much the coaster theming complete. Obviously the main part of the theming is the journey that you take up the mountain and in and out of the mountain. So that's all done in the last one, and then we start working on some other things in the area. So I put in the aeroplane flat ride, I can't remember the name of this one, but I thought it fitted in quite nicely with the theming, just giving it some different colours there. It's very difficult to sort of decide what colours go with this theme really, so we just stick with some sort of whites and blues and sort of less saturated colours, I guess would be the best way to describe that. And then we're just filling in the area really with some foliage and planting and stuff like that. And then I just go to work on the lift hill for the coaster, so just building some sort of catwalks, I guess would be the best way to describe what I'm building there. Very, very simple, just with some borders and some roof pieces to complete off the lift hill. I wanted to have it exactly like the Expedition Everest one, where there's sort of nothing underneath, it's just supported by the two bits of mountain. But there's, for some reason, when I have mods enabled in the game, I can't do the tree stump trick or use the mod that kills supports, so I can't get rid of the original supports that come with it, so I just have to, you know, do it a different way, leave the supports in. But again, it's not meant to be a clone of that particular coaster, so it doesn't really matter that we've got the supports the way they are. Here we are then working on a food outlet or a restaurant building, I guess. This one is pretty much built mod free, so it's pretty much vanilla except from a couple of fences that we put in, which I think is nice because I might turn it into a blueprint at some point, so you can download it. It's probably my favourite building that I put into this area. Just trying some different techniques here, so using the sort of I don't know what you call that border really, but the sloped border that, you know, is all juttery, sort of like a Dutch roof. Using that as a sort of trellis, I guess would be the word. But yeah, giving it the sort of Himalayan style theming there, I guess. Doubling up on the overhanging roof as well for this one, and then placing some of the adventure wall pieces in as well. I do think this building, in terms of colour, it's a little bit dull because it really just has the two colours, but I think that kind of works for what we're going for here. It wouldn't really look right if I started adding too many more colours in, but in general I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I like the shape of this one as well, and I think it works quite nicely as a food outlet. I can't remember if we put a seating area in here. I don't think we really do, so I guess the idea would be that guests eat inside the building. As far as from a gameplay perspective, it doesn't really matter. They'll just take the food and go and sit on one of the benches. But from a realism sort of point of view, I guess that's how it would work. But yeah, I got carried away with the border pieces there, just using them everywhere. But yeah, I think it is a really nice technique for this sort of theming, and definitely something that I'll try and do again. I'll tell a lie about the no mods. We do use some of those beams on the top of the roof, but that could be done with shapes. I just wanted to save a slight bit of time in doing it that way. Once this series is finished, I'm going to work less with mods and see what I can do with the vanilla game again, sort of go back to basics with it. Yeah, but for now, you know, I do like using a lot of mod assets in these sandbox parks. So that pretty much completes the restaurant building. All we add in now is a couple of other buildings that sit behind it, just as a bit of theming really, that you'll see from ground level, sort of false perspective thing. As buildings go up the hill, look like they're further away, and you'll see them as you're coming down the main drop on the coaster as well. So, you know, it's sort of about sight lines really, I guess. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the build of this area. Like I say, in the next episode we'll be working on the final area of the park, the fifth and final area. It's one that I'm quite nervous about starting. I haven't even started it yet, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how I tackle that. It's going to be very, very heavily themed, and hugely inspired by a themed area in an actual theme park out there. So yeah, we'll see how that all comes together in the next one. I am actually on Discord now, finally. I downloaded it before I did the reinstall, and I set up a page, and that's about as far as I went with it, because I really haven't sort of learned how it works yet. I haven't got round to actually using it properly. So then I did the reinstall of Windows, a complete clean reboot. I backed up everything onto an external disk and did it like that. So I haven't got Discord on the computer at the moment, so I will need to download it again and really look into it and see how I can almost build up a community, I guess, or join in with other people's communities a bit more. So that'll be something that we look into doing in the future. As always though, it's as and when I have time. I'd rather spend time playing the games and getting content out for you lot than, you know, trying to figure out how to make Discord work. But hopefully within the next few weeks I'll get that up and running, and I'll let you guys know more as and when I know myself. So I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of the build. We'll do some cinematic shots at the end so that you can see the area complete. And I hope to see you all in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.